Hey guys, Sean here. Welcome to my channel. If you are new, please go ahead and take the time to subscribe. I do post weekly, and if you're returning, as always, thank you. I appreciate you so much. If you're already subscribed, you're already hip to your girl, and I love you for it. That wink was a little weird. Maybe I'll edit it out, who knows. Just a little backstory about me is I'm a 19-year-old biracial girl, and I am a college senior. I graduate in August with my fashion merchandising degree, and hopefully I'll get a career from then. I have a boyfriend. I'm a Gemini. I'm pansexual, cisgender. My pronouns are she and her. That's all you need to know about me. If you have any other questions, ask me down below. Maybe I'll get enough followers one day to where I can do Q&As. That would always be great. Just wait on it. But today I am not here to do a Q&A nobody asked for. I am here to do a story time. I don't have any story times on my channel, and I've been through a lot growing up, and I'm not going to talk about my childhood in this video, but I am going to talk about how I made a girl quit from my old place of employment. It literally spanned, I felt like, over a month and a half, and I was just waiting every day to go into work to see her quit because I was so tired of seeing her face. But yeah, I'm gonna tell you that story. It might be long, but it was crazy. When I tell you I was so relieved when she left, girl. So if you are new here, I used to work at McDonald's. I worked at a location downtown for a little while, then I moved to, I transferred to a location that was closer to the to Kent State University, and I worked there for a while. I worked my way up, became a manager there. It was a good experience. I loved the people there. Some of the customers were rude. You get into arguments with crew and coworkers all the time, but it's nothing out of the ordinary. Overall, it was a good experience. Definitely, if I was ever low and really needed a job again, I would apply back there. I didn't hate it that much. You know, there were shitty times. Trust me, I can tell you about shitty times at McDonald's, but that was, it was a decent work experience. So basically, working at the second location, I worked my way up and became a manager, and I was the second youngest manager there. I was 18, was a manager. Nobody ever believes that I'm 19. I'm 19. I'm a baby, and I'm about to graduate college. But yeah, nobody ever believed that I was so young, and I was a manager there. It was okay. You know, there were times where I sat in the freezer and cried in the middle of lunch rush, but nothing out of the ordinary. But there was another girl who also became a manager while I was a manager. At the McDonald's and the franchise I worked at, they had a really bad habit of promoting people up to manager and then sending them to another location, or just, we were always switching managers. I felt like nobody was ever there for too long. I was always scared because when you do sign your thing to become a manager, they can transfer you wherever they want to. And there's a couple McDonald's I did not want to work at. You all know that McDonald's in your city that just has a bad reputation, and you're like, no sir, no ma'am, I'll drive an extra couple miles to go to another one. And we had a lot of those in our franchise. So this girl had became a manager at her McDonald's, and they transferred her over to us. So she really didn't have any training, which I didn't hold against her. You can't help it that they transferred you when you became a manager, but she was honestly just so immature. Like, the whole time I worked with her, she was just a really immature person. So for the sake of privacy reasons, I'm just gonna call her Cindy in this video, and if anybody I worked with shows her this video or knows her, I really don't care. This is old news, and I think it's just a crazy story, and I'll never forget it. You know those memories that are just so vivid, and you remember every single thing about it, and when you think about it, you just get pissed off all over again? This is one of those instances. So anyways, I was either, I don't know if I just turned 19 or if I was 18. She was a year younger than me, and she definitely acted like it. A lot of people couldn't believe that we were so close in age just because of how immature she was. And she was a skinny white girl. She had like thin brown hair. She was nothing really special. She was just a skinny white girl. And not to like say I'm just saying, it was not special. She ain't have no piercings, no tattoos. She's just a skinny white girl. So me and Cindy, we were cool for a little bit, but she sometimes would catch an attitude about different small things or just be really immature, and then you're a manager, you really can't act like crew anymore. You get paid more, you're in a higher position, you're not crew anymore. You gave up that sacrifice. You need to act like a manager at this point. So me and her, I mean, we were cool, but we never like really hit it off to where I would even think about calling her outside of work or hanging out with her outside of work. It was nothing like that. Like, we were okay in close quarters, but there was no actual friendship there. So she's a white girl, she's a skinny white girl, and she dated a black guy, which I don't have any problem with. I am the product of an interracial relationship, so do your thing. But I think if you are a white woman dating a black man, you need to realize that there are certain boundaries you cannot step. There are certain boundaries in place you cannot step. First of all, you need to realize what black men go through and like all that they are. I feel like a lot of white women date black guys out of like fetishizing them and just like, oh, black guys have big dicks and black guys are strong and they're super masculine and they're super sexual. And I feel like that is honestly a lot of reasons why white girls date black guys, and for the fact that everybody loves mixed babies. We all know that people fetishize mixed children all the time, all over social media, and honestly, I feel like that's why white girls date black guys. I mean, of course, there are some white girls who actually like black guys, and of course, you may actually like them in the long run, but I feel like there's always that inkling in the back of your head is that we're gonna have cute-ass children, he probably has a big dick, and he's probably strong. I feel like that's always in the back of your head, and sometimes I'm even victim to over-sexualizing or giving off the whole hyper-masculinity thing to black men, but she dated a black guy. That's all I wanted to say. She dated a black guy. So this girl was on break, and I ended up going on break or something. Anyways, I ended up outside, and I was like, oh, who are you waiting for? And Cindy was like, I'm waiting for my boyfriend. We'll call him Trevor. I'm waiting for my boyfriend Trevor. And I'm like, oh, okay. So he pulls up, and she's like, you want to meet Trevor? And I'm like, sure, why not? So I go up to the car and meet, and I'm like, hey, Trevor, I'm Shailene. Nice to meet you, la da da. And then we walk away because she's going to the other side of the car, and I'm like, oh girl, look at you, because he was cute and she wasn't a looker, she was nothing special, and she got this really cute guy. And that sounds really vapid and a really shallow reason, but I was like, oh girl, look at you. And she was like, yeah, look at me dating niggas and shit. And I was looking at her like, ma'am. I looked at her and I said, don't ever say that around me again, and I walked away. Because as a white woman, as anybody white, the word nigga, nigger, negro, anything should not be in your mouth, period, ever, in any context, ever. I mean, I guess negro in a historical context, but no ma'am, don't say nigga around me, because I'm not the black person who's gonna pat you on the back or think you're one of the homies or think you're my nigga. You're not my nigga. You need to stay in your place. And honestly, that is what just started off everything. The fact that she said nigga, I was like, oh my god, she's one of those. And it was bad from then on there. And it was like every encounter with her after that, it was just in the back of my head like, this white girl really thinks it's okay to say nigga, this white girl really said nigga to me, this white girl really, and it's just like, what is going on? Who raised you? What school did you go to? Where did you learn that that was okay? Because what you're not gonna do is say it around me. And I remember I had told other coworkers that she said that, and they were like, first of all, she shouldn't be saying that word because we're in a business setting. You're supposed to be professional. That's really not something professional to say. And on top of that, you're white. And on top of that, I don't know who you thought you were saying that around somebody black. Because if you say that around the wrong black person, you're liable to get your head knocked off. So you're like, yeah, I just told you not to say it around me again. So then after that, things were rocky between me and her. We really didn't speak much at work. I didn't have anything to say to her. And shit was just on the rocks. I mean, I didn't really care though. I was a manager. I came there to run my crew, to run my shift efficiently, and to leave. I don't care what you do. If you're not in my way, then that's fine and dandy. Just don't be in my way during my shift. So I don't know how far long this was. But what had happened is another manager, we'll call him Billy, was running the floor. So he was in charge. And Billy had placed me, Shailene, on, if you know McDonald's, there were 2 sides to the table. So 2 people can be making sandwiches at one time during breakfast time and during lunchtime. But basically, we didn't have any burritos rolled. McDonald's burritos are pre-rolled, and you usually give somebody about an hour and a half to sit there and roll all the burritos. So he asked me like, hey Shailene, you want to roll burritos? And I'm thinking like, no, I'm a manager, I shouldn't be rolling burritos. I should be doing something more productive. I get paid to do something more productive. Don't have me rolling burritos, have crew do that. So I was like, no, I'll be on side 1. You can have Cindy roll burritos. And she came into work with an attitude, acted like she didn't want to be there. So I was under the impression that she didn't want to be there, so I wanted her out of my face. So I told him, go have her roll burritos. That way she'll get the fuck away from me. So basically there was a section where you roll burritos in the store, and somebody was making salads at that time, and you roll burritos and make salads in the same section. So she went ahead and took all the burrito things back to the crew room. The crew room is probably like 30 feet away from where I'm at, when normally you're about 10 feet away from where I'm at. The place where you normally roll burritos and make salads is to where you can do other things. I can tell you to stop rolling burritos, to put pies in, or to go sweep the lobby. But if you're all the way in the crew room, I literally have to leave my position to go tell you to do something. So it was too far. But I understood why she went back there. It was because somebody was making salads, so I really didn't have a problem with it. So the person who was making salads finished making the salads, and I sent somebody back there like, hey, go tell Cindy they're done making the salad. She can bring the stuff over here to roll the burritos, because I needed her to do other things. If I need hash browns down, I need you to come and put hash browns down. If I need pies in, I need you to be able to do that. I shouldn't have to send somebody back there to tell you to do other things. So he was like, okay, she said she's gonna do it. So I'm sitting there for like 5 minutes doing my job, and at that point she hasn't moved. She hasn't came up there, and I was like, go tell her again. Like, I was getting frustrated at this point. We're both managers. I don't understand why you're acting like a child and why you're acting like crew. So he goes and tells her again. She said she'll be out in a second. So this is like 6-7 minutes after the first time. I done told her to come to where you're supposed to roll burritos at. So then I send this older woman that we worked with, I'll call her Betty. I'll call her Betty. I sent her back there. I was like, tell Cindy that she needs to come out here. Like, she's frustrating me. I'm done with the bullshit at this point. And she came and told me, she said she's not moving. I said, oh, she said that to you? And she said, yeah, she said she's not moving. So I told the other manager, Billy, who was running the floor, I said, she said she's not moving, so I'm about to go back there and send her home. If you don't want to listen to what I'm telling you to do, and if you want to act like crew, you can go home, because I don't need you on my floor. You're wasting labor. You're being insubordinate, and you're rolling burritos while you're sitting down. I don't understand what is going on. Are you trying to make me mad? Because at that point, that's what I felt like she was trying to do. So I go back there, and I was like, did you plan on coming up here? And she was like, no, I'm just gonna sit back here and do it. And I said, what do you mean sit back here and do it? And she said something along the lines, and I was like, the reason why we let so-and-so sit back here and do it is because they're old and their feet and back starts to hurt when they stand for a long time. You're 18, you're a manager. We shouldn't even have you rolling burritos in the first place, but I wanted you, like, out of my hair. That was what I was thinking. And I was like, there's no reason for you to be back here sitting here doing it. She was like, well, I have heart problems and I'm going to sit back here and do it. And I looked at her. I said, actually, no, you can get up and go clock out. I said, you can get off my floor, and I'm going to have somebody else do this since you don't want to do it right. And she got all her shit and got her stuff and clocked out and left. And it's just like, you're a manager, you're embarrassing yourself, you don't know how to follow simple directions. And at that point, I was so fed up. And he was like, did you really send her home? I was like, yeah, I sent her home, because I would rather be a person short during lunch hour than to deal with your bullshit. So I sent her home. So that was the second time where we kind of got into it, and I was so irritated, honestly. It was just like, I was so irritated because nobody at that store liked her presence. And I don't know who she was trying to fool with the whole bad girl act, but you're not gonna get over on me. and you're not gonna fuck up my mood, and you're not gonna fuck up my shift. It's not gonna happen. So after that happened, we got into one last final altercation. We probably got into another altercation that I can't remember. This happened over 6 months ago, easily. So it happened a little grip ago, but our final altercation was probably the best, because I was waiting on her to hit me so I could whoop her ass in the middle of the store. Like, it was like, it got that heated. So she was one of those people who like to tell you about the girl she had beat up and the fight she had gotten into, and I'm not scared of you. I'm 5'4", I weigh 240. You're like 160 soaking wet. I know maybe you shouldn't underestimate little people, but you know me and you have a beef and we're not on okay terms, and you're talking really loudly about people you've been in fights with around me, so I'm taking that as aggression, and I'm not the right person to be tried, nor will I let you try me. So I'm just sitting there listening like, okay, whatever. So then, basically, if you are crew, you get 50% off your meal if we don't make food costs, and if we do make food costs, you get the whole meal for free, up to like $6.50 or some shit. So this lady, who I also had many altercation with, we'll call her Diane, she ended up getting like $8.50 worth of food or some shit. So I knew it was, I seen it on the screen, and I knew it was like $8.50 worth of food, because it was like a 20 piece, which is already $5, and it was something else, and then it was like a caramel frappe. So I'm looking at it like, that's a lot of food. I've been running the floor the whole day. I know she hasn't went on break. I know she hasn't gotten her free meal today. And I'm just looking at it like, why would she pay for all that food? So I asked her, I was like, oh, Diane, why didn't you just have me ring you up for it was like half off for free meal. I was like, why didn't you have me just ring you up instead of paying for it? She looked at me, she said, no, I'm fine, I'll just pay for it today. And she like straight up lied to my face, because I can go back to the register and see if you paid for it, or see if somebody gave you a code and gave you the food for free. So I just had that inkling that she was lying. The way she said it, it took her too long to respond. So I went to the register and I seen that somebody had promoted off all that food for her. It was like eight something worth of food. It was over what we got. We got $8 worth of free food, and I remember it was over $8 worth of free food. And I went back to her and I pulled her to the side. I said, you know what? I really don't appreciate you lying in my face like that. And she just looked at me like she couldn't believe that I caught her in her lie. And it's like, you're too old to be lying. You're way too old to be lying. I don't even, like, girl, you're like 50. What are you doing? You're way too old to be lying to me. What is going on? So then I pulled Cindy to the side and I said, did you promo off all that food for her? It was like $8.27. I was like, did you promo off all that food for her? She said, yeah, why? I said, because crew doesn't get that much free food. And she was like, I thought we all just got $8. I said, even if you thought we all got $8, you gave her more than $8. You know they get less than $8, but her and Diane were in cahoots and like best friends. Okay, at the end of the day, Diane didn't work up to be a manager, so Diane doesn't get $8 worth of free food. Simple as that. So then we got into that. She started mumbling, and I'm not here for it. We're the only two people up front. We're working our asses off, and I'm in the drive-thru running myself. She's on counter running herself, and I'm in the mindset of, I'm not helping you. You want to get smart with me? I'm not helping you. I hope your fucking counter piles the fuck up, and I'm gonna take my drink and go back to the crew room and drink it until I get an order in my ear, because you're being immature and you're being petty, and two can play at that game, so we shall. So somebody ends up coming up there, and somehow we end up talking about respect, or no, I said I really don't appreciate people lying to me just straight to my face like that. And she was like, well, maybe if you respected your crew, they would respect you. And I looked at her, I said, who are you to talk to me about respect? And she was like, I'm not scared of you, Shailene. And I looked at her like, who said you had to be scared of me? Are we talking about fighting? And I said, who said you had to be scared of me? And she just like looked at me, and I don't remember what else she said, but it was just like dead silent. And then that's when we went into like working for ourselves, basically. So then every Thursday, all of the managers who are department managers have a meeting like in the lobby. So it was just us two us two in the front, and then they were having a meeting. And basically Cindy was on her phone, and one manager walked by her, and she was so irritated, girl. She was so irritated. And I burp when I talk a lot. It's like all the air I'm breathing in. But she was on her phone in the window, and one of the managers walked by her and was like, hey, you need to put your phone away. And like she put it away. And then another manager walked by and was like, you need to take your phone to the back, because at that point it had become a problem. Like, what are you doing? And then she literally just put her phone in her pocket, went to the back, grabbed all her stuff, and walked out mid-shift. Like, just left me up there by myself. And they're all looking at me like, did she just walk out? And I was like, yeah, she just walked out. And then later, she called the store saying that she wasn't going to return her uniforms to our store, and how she was going to drop them off to another store. And I'm just like, girl, you're being extra. What are you scared of? Are you scared because you like, you really sat there and bragged to other people about this fight you had gotten into, and you bloodied up some girl's nose, but we get into a small argument at work and you quit. And I think it just goes to show that maybe you can fight physically, but you sure can't mentally, and I was breaking you down. So like, everybody I worked with, they were like, yeah, you definitely made her quit, because it was just little shit me and her were getting into every single shift. Like, little snide remarks, little, like, just you know when you can fucking cut the tension in the air with a knife. It was like that every shift. And I was so happy when she left. We were down a person. I sure as the fuck picked up some of her shifts, but at the end of the day, sometimes you'd rather just be down a person than to deal with somebody with a shitty attitude. I really don't have time for it. But yeah, that was the story about how I made a girl quit her job. And I really think I did make her quit her job, because at the end of the day, if me and her hadn't gotten to those altercations, I don't think she would have left like that. She didn't put in a 2 weeks notice or anything. Like, she literally just up, left, and quit. And we were all relieved when she left, so I don't think it was anybody's loss. It wasn't McDonald's loss. It wasn't our loss as a team. So yeah, if you guys want more story times, that story time really isn't exciting. I do have a crazy story time, but it's kind of like 18 plus, rated R, and I know my sisters watch my channel and I don't want them to hear about it. So it's nothing too crazy. I didn't do anything, so just don't think it's something I did. But yeah, if you guys want any more story times from me, let me know. This story time seemed hyper in my mind than it turned out to be, but if you like to hear your girl ramble, or if you like to clean your room and just throw on a fucking video, this is that type of video. And yeah, I hope you guys like this video. If you want more story times, let me know. Leave video suggestions down below. Talk to your girl. And as always, I love you guys, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.